Hi, I'm Dennis Weaver, and like you, I just love animals, especially dogs like Abby and Molly here. I also love nature and America's magnificent wilderness, but what really troubles me is that millions of these loving pets are abandoned in this country every year, and many of them are left behind to fend for themselves at our wilderness campgrounds and picnic areas. Just like Abby and Molly here. Do you know you were much loved? Huh? Do you know that? Yeah, you do. Can you believe it? These two beautiful dogs were abandoned in the forest. Now that's hard to imagine, isn't it? But they got lucky because thanks to people just like you and an organization that I'm going to tell you about, Abby and Molly were rescued from exposure, starvation, predators, injury, and disease. Since 1979, only one nonprofit organization has been rescuing cats and dogs who are abandoned in the wilderness. That's Dedication and Everlasting Love to Animals, or Delta Rescue. Now, over the last 2 decades, Delta Rescue has become the largest no-kill animal shelter in the world, with over 1,500 dogs and cats living at its 94-acre mountaintop sanctuary. Delta Rescue has 2 fully equipped hospitals to look after all these animals. And being Care for Life, this organization prides itself in the human quality of nursing given to each animal. Geriatric and chronic illness are treated alongside infectious and contagious disease, and state-of-the-art equipment and procedures guarantee the longest possible life for each of these precious animals. Over 500 rescued cats live in more than 3 dozen catteries. Now, these formerly feral cats have cozy futon couches to sleep on, climbing trees, toys, and 3 delicious meals a day. Each room in the cattery houses a whole colony, so cats who struggle to survive together in the wilderness can spend the rest of their lives together, safe and loved. All of the dogs at this quintessential animal sanctuary are spayed and neutered, and then married. 2 dogs share a huge yard and their own house at this super shelter. In the late 1980s, Delta Rescue began a program with the University of California at Davis, and together they built the world's first kidney dialysis unit for dogs. Not only was it successful at treating pets with kidney failure, but today it has been duplicated around the world. New discoveries have been made in the treatment of kidney disease in dogs and cats thanks to this program, and many lives have been saved. And in an area very dear to me, what I call economics, Delta Rescue has invented the straw bale doghouse. Yeah, you see, this inexpensive structure is made from 25 bales of straw and a few sheets of plywood, and it will last for decades, and the dogs just love it. The free how-to video for constructing this energy-efficient houses has been given away to thousands of humane workers and animal shelters as far away as Turkey, Kenya, and India. Each of these programs must continue and grow because there is still so much more that needs to be done for animals everywhere. For more information on how you can help, call 1-877-43-DELTA.
The nice thing about working for Delta and doing work with Delta is that you can think on a completely different plane of thought. So you see a patient without having to explain to the client different cost options, different risk factors. You can actually decide what's the best course of action to take, and here at Delta, that's what gets done, irrespective of the financial situation. If I run into a patient here that needs a specialist, they go see a specialist. And it's nice to at least part of the time, to be able to step away and not be bound by reality, I guess you might say, and the fact that these animals here receive a quality of care that is unsurpassed, and it's nice to be involved in that. The staff here at Delta is highly motivated to provide a level of care because it goes beyond just working at a vet hospital. They are aware of the background of most of these animals. Unfortunately, these are animals that were given up on by society. They were taken out in the wild and dumped in the forest with the ignorant belief, unfortunately, that they'd be able to forage for themselves. These are domesticated animals that have been abandoned, and many of them are old and diseased when they find them. And I think that the nice thing about the staff that works here is that they're aware of this, and they're aware of the motivation of Delta in and of itself and what they stand for. And so they provide a level of care that goes, I think, above and beyond many of the private vet hospitals in the state. They have a large manpower need here, and they're very careful in screening the people to make sure that they're compassionate. They're not here just for the paycheck. These people are dedicated, and they put in a lot of hours above and beyond the call of duty. Given the population that they have, we'll run into just about everything that you hear about in the textbook, and some things that frankly I've never seen in my private practice. Case in point, I did an entropion surgery in a cat, an eyelid problem, just a couple of weeks ago here, that I have, in 16, 17 years of private practice, I've never done an entropion surgery on a cat in my own private practice. Cancer, unfortunately, is a real common phenomenon here. The population is getting older, and one of the things that we see a lot of, unfortunately, are tumors. And in private practice, due to the long-term poor prognosis and the extreme expense of both surgical and chemotherapy intervention, we don't get to do a lot of it in a private practice situation. It's more of a matter of keeping them comfortable, and euthanasia is very often the treatment of choice in the private practice situation. But here we're able to determine, with biopsies, find out the exact cell type, the appropriate chemotherapy. If radiation therapy is necessary, the animals leave the facility here and go to the place where it's necessary to get it. So with the geriatric population out here, and this being basically a no euthanasia shelter, we take care of a lot of cancer patients that I don't see, or I see but don't get to treat in a private practice situation. I alluded earlier to a phrase that gets bantered about in veterinary medicine and in private shelter organizations, the term no-kill shelter. What that actually means is that, unfortunately, county-run facilities and many other private facilities have a time limit that they can keep pets. If they don't adopt these animals out in a predetermined period of time, these animals are euthanized. The situation here at Delta is diametrically opposed to that. When an animal is rescued from the wild, irrespective of their chronic health or their age, these animals have a place where they're going to receive care, irrespective of cost, until they die of natural causes. Now, that's not to say that an animal that's terminally ill and suffering unduly would not be euthanized. Certainly, when it becomes obvious that their pain and suffering is beyond management, animals are put to sleep at Delta, but it's never because of a lack of funds to provide treatment, even if it means a specialist is necessary. And it's never because they're unadoptable. It's never because of just old age. These animals receive the care that's necessary. Like many of my colleagues, had perhaps forgotten exactly why I wanted to be a veterinarian. I wanted to be a veterinarian when I was a kid simply because I loved animals. And I loved the science of making them better. And then suddenly, as years passed and maturity and the input of business and employees and all that started putting external pressures, I lost track of the fact that veterinary medicine is taking care of animals. And my involvement with Leo Gorillo has allowed me to go back to that. I'm able to come in here and truly take care of veterinary medicine and the animal's well-being. So I've been able to get back to just dealing with the science of healthcare as opposed to the business of healthcare. And I'm certain I will practice medicine much longer than I would have if I had continued in the private sector.